You know who grinds my gears? Old toxic family members and friends that you haven't seen in a long time. Now, of course, we know why we don't come around anymore, but it seems like they're not getting the hint. The first thing they say when they see you is, where you been? You too good to hang around us all of a sudden?
We were talking today about kind of sad how times have changed. We wish that it could go back to the days where, guess what? If you were in the neighborhood, you stop by, come over, have some water, grab a snack, and let's hang out.
Not everything needed to be this grand
Planned
visit.
out.
Yeah.
Everything does not have to be planned out. So guess what? What we're telling you is, if you're our friends, our family, our boys' friends, stop by anytime. And if you're one of those people, you know our address. And if you're not sure and you don't remember, you can send me a DM and I'll send you our address and you can stop by anytime.
Yeah.
Let's bring back the old days.
Bring them back.
I am 100% a no visitors type of household.
Do you remember the last time someone knocked on your front door? Just to see you. Not to deliver a package or anything, just because they were in the neighborhood and they thought about you and wanted to sit together for an hour or two. Most people have to pause for a few seconds to remember when that last happened. When did we stop doing this? There was a time, not very long ago, when dropping by someone's house unannounced wasn't considered a boundary violation. It was just an afternoon.
I remember growing up, you used to have family parties, birthday parties, holidays, whatever the case is. And you used to have all kinds of family there, not just your immediate family, like your mom, your siblings. You would have uncles, aunts, grandparents, hell, sometimes even friends if they were really close. And now, these days, holidays, birthday parties, it's like you can't get anybody to come out anymore. And I think it really happened after COVID, where nobody wants to get together anymore. And I understand everybody has their own lives going on, but that's always been the case. You know what I mean? People have always had their own lives, their own families. But I feel like ever since COVID, nobody wants to get together anymore. And it's like a big struggle just to get maybe a third, not even a third, of your family to come out to an event, especially like Christmas.
You knocked on the door, you sat on the couch, someone made coffee or put a drink out of the fridge, and for an hour or two, time slowed down. Nothing was scheduled. Nobody officially voted on this shift. Nobody announced a new set of cultural rules. Yet, somehow, almost overnight, it happened everywhere. Today, when an unexpected knock comes at the front door, nobody rushes to open the door with a smile. You freeze. You look down at your phone to see if anyone texted first. You tread quietly past the living room window, standing in total silence until you hear footsteps walking down the driveway. An unannounced visitor doesn't feel like a pleasant surprise anymore. It feels like an intrusion or an emergency. If you ask people why, they'll tell you they're busy. They'll tell you traffic is terrible or that everyone's schedule is packed. But if you look at how people actually live, the real explanation is much quieter than that. People didn't stop visiting each other because they stopped caring. They stopped visiting because we turned being human together into a performance. None of us have the energy for it anymore.
So I've heard that a lot of New Yorkers are having trouble letting their friends and family members know that they don't want to host them when they visit. I mean, obviously we all love visitors, right? But as we know, living in New York by itself is exhausting. The weekend is your time to recharge. You know, friends and family members, they want you to show them around and be a tour guide. It's not that we don't want to. It's just that living in New York is exhausting. And so some people aren't sure how to let their friends and family members know that they don't want to be a host. Well, it is entirely possible to be straightforward without being brutal. So if someone wants to visit me and I don't want to be a host, I just tell them, I'm not taking visitors right now.
To understand why front doors stay closed now, you have to look at what happens in your head the moment you even think about inviting someone over. Think about the last time someone looked you in the eye and said, "We should get together soon." Nobody thinks they're lying. In that exact moment, both people actually mean it. You want to see them. They want to see you. And then you picture your own living room. There are Amazon boxes sitting in the hallway, shoes piled by the front door, dishes drying by the sink, unfolded laundry on the couch, or clutter scattered across the table. You realize your furniture looks a little worn out, or your apartment is smaller than you wish it were, or that you're living with a roommate in your 30s. You look at your own home through the eyes of an invisible audience, comparing it to the spotless aesthetic spaces you scroll past every night on your screen. And suddenly, having someone sit on your couch for an hour feels like it requires 3 hours of preparation. So you hesitate. You tell yourself, let's do it next month when everything settles down. Or let's just grab a quick coffee out somewhere instead. And somehow, 6 months disappear. We became embarrassed by our own edited lives. We strip away the low-effort comfort of existing together in messy living rooms and replaced it with a subtle, quiet anxiety that made staying home alone feel safer. And that's the first reason the porch grew quiet.
I really hate when people show up to your crib unexpectedly. Like no phone call, no text, nothing. They just pop up. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like that's so rude and so disrespectful to just pop up at somebody's house to surprise them. Like, unless you know that they want you there and unless they like gave you the green light to just pop up anytime, I feel like no one should ever do that shit. Like, that's the ultimate disrespect. Like, you just pop up at somebody's crib, you don't know what they got going on. People be getting off of work, they got kids, they got a family, they might have homework, they might have job stuff to do, and you just pop up. Hell nah. Me personally, if you just pop up at my crib, I might just sit and watch you ring the doorbell from the window, cause probably not gonna answer it, cause what you doing here, bruh? Like, did you call me? Did you text me? Like, what's up? Don't do that shit, man.
We made hospitality feel like an evaluation instead of an embrace. Think about what happens when your phone rings unexpectedly. You look down at the screen, you see a name you care about, and instead of answering, you watch it vibrate until it stops. Then you send a text 5 minutes later. "Hey, just saw this. What's up?" It's not that you dislike the person calling. It's that live interaction has come to feel like an expenditure of energy we simply don't even have left to give. Most of us are working longer, commuting farther, and spending our days managing endless streams of digital noise. When you spend 8 hours performing for a boss, a customer, or a screen, your home becomes a sanctuary of recovery. By Friday evening, going over to someone's house isn't entertainment. It's work. You realize one day that you were always the one reaching out. You're the one asking when you can come over. You're the one driving across town. And then, just to see what happens, you stop initiating. And nobody feels the silence. This is why living rooms stay empty on weekends. It's not out of malice. Everyone is running on emotional low battery mode. And when every visit requires hyper effort, people quietly retreat into solitude. Not because they don't want company or anything, but because being alone in an empty room became far less exhausting than being performative in someone else's. And here's the hardest part about why we stop showing up at each other's doors. Most of us aren't avoiding people we dislike. We're avoiding people we actually miss. Think about the friendships in your life right now that faded away. There was no big arguments, no betrayal, no dramatic falling out. There was just a Saturday where you hung out, made plans for next time, and the life kept moving.
I have friends. They're not coming over here. There's never been an invite for anybody. And it's not that I don't want them to come here. I just don't want them to come here. They come inside, of course. They gotta go pee. They need to sit in the living room for a second while I change. But like, We not chilling in my crib at all. We're not doing that. We're gonna fuck out of here, actually. And I was genuinely just thinking, like, the thought of somebody taking a in my apartment genuinely pisses me the fuck off. In that same note, why do I not want to date? Why am I not interested in men? The thought of some random ass man my toilet where I pay the bills. Do not make yourself at home. Do not make yourself at home. Do not sit deeply on the couch. Sit on the edge of the cushion. Edge of the cushion. No, yeah. Anytime I hang out with my friends, I'm going to their house, their apartment.
And right now, as you're listening to this, you might be thinking about a specific person, someone you haven't seen in months, someone you haven't visited in years. You tell yourself that if they wanted to see you, they'd reach out. You assume they're busy, or that they've moved on, or that inviting yourself over would be an inconvenience for them. But here's the truth we rarely allow ourselves to see: emotional reversal. Someone is missing you right now. They just assume you're just too busy. The strange thing is that you're probably waiting for the exact same permission they're waiting for. Most people don't realize they're seeing someone for the last time. Nobody announces it. Nobody sits in the living room, looks at their best friend and says, "This is probably the last afternoon we'll ever spend together." It just happens. One day you and your best friend say goodbye and neither of you knew it was the last time. For generations, people were forced into living rooms purely out of tradition and social obligations, even when those environments were tensed or unhealthy. Today, people are choosing peace over obligation. We chose emotional safety, but in stripping away forced duty, we never quite figured out how to rebuild visits based purely on simple, quiet effort. There's one more reason the doorbell stopped ringing and almost all of us fell into it without noticing. The internet didn't destroy human visits by making us hate each other. It destroyed them by giving us a cheap, effortless substitute for being in the same room. When you see a photo of your friend's coffee on Instagram, watch their weekend clip on TikTok, and drop a laughing emoji in the group chat, your brain registers a fake sense of presence. You feel like you've been there. You feel like you've checked in. The internet made everyone visible, then slowly made everyone perform. We replaced the messy, unscripted 2-hour living room conversation with continuous micro updates. We traded depth for frequency. Because actual visiting is clumsy. It has long silences. It requires looking at someone's face when they aren't glowing behind the filters. It requires sitting on a couch with another human being, unedited, quiet reality. On a screen, if things get boring, you swipe away. In a living room, you have to stay. We optimize out the friction of human connection, and in doing so, we accidentally made actual visits feel like too much work. Everyone looks connected. Nobody feels reachable, though. In the spare bedroom, it stays empty. If you look out at your neighborhood tonight, row after closed front doors and lit windows with people sitting quietly inside, it's easy to feel like something vital has been lost. Getting together used to take 5 minutes. Now it takes 3 calendars, 4 text messages, and somebody eventually saying, "Let's just do it another time."
People always feel like you have to go the extra mile for them, or you have to do this for them, or, oh, make sure you're creating memories with these people. Don't you know that on the inside of here, there's a heart too? Because somebody had said something like, there's times when I wanted to go to Louisiana, but then I would be like, okay, you know what? I'm not going. And so then different people will be like, oh, well, we're so hurt that you can't come or you can't make it. But it's like, how do you guys think I feel that I've been here all these years and none of y'all can't visit me?
Modern life removed friction, then accidentally removed the meaning. If you've been sitting in your house wondering why nobody drops by anymore, or why you can barely summon the energy to invite someone over, know that you're not broken. You're just reacting to a world that made being human together overwhelming. Maybe we don't need grand invitations or perfectly decorated houses. Maybe we just need to let people see us messy again. Inviting someone over when the sink is full. Showing up without an agenda. Letting a friend sit on your couch while you both do nothing at all. Because people didn't forget how to love each other. We just got tired of putting on a show. The distance between us isn't measured in miles anymore. It's measured in the invitation that we were too tired or too afraid to send. And maybe people didn't forget how to be together. Maybe everyone is just sitting in an empty living room waiting for someone else to go first. It's been your girl, Remy Renee. I'll see you guys in my next video.